Hey, what's going on? Zach here. Welcome back to the Constant Growth channel. If it's your first time stopping in, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And hopefully you get some value out of this video. And if you do, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So in this video, we are going to talk about why crypto is falling, what is going on in the crypto market, and what is going to take place in the next couple weeks, maybe in the next couple days that could have a drastic impact on how institutions in particular look at crypto and how government regulation influences a lot of these decisions as well. So again, hopefully you get some value. Let's pop right into it. So I've got a couple videos that I want to show you here in this video itself. And this first one is from financial news out of London. Fidelity, tomato, tomato, says 80% of investors want crypto in portfolios, which means regulation is coming. This is interesting. And this is a big reason why we have so much uncertainty and FUD right now in the crypto market. However, there are some good things and bad things about this potentially happening soon. And I want to cover that from both angles. So let's scroll down here. Nearly 8 in 10 institutional investors say that digital assets such as cryptocurrencies should form part of a portfolio, according to this study by Fidelity. So more than 90% of those interested in cryptocurrencies expect the sector to be a long-term bet. It added with plans to include them in portfolios within the next 5 years. Fidelity's survey of 1,100 institutional investors across the United States, Europe, and Asia was carried out between December and April. Important caveat here, that was leading up to the all-time high of 64,829 for Bitcoin. Now the data does not reflect views that may have changed since it's come crashing down to, well, just today, just below 30,000. However, Fidelity's European head of digital assets, Chris Tyler, was quoted saying, "This is a new emerging asset class. Regulation is coming, and what we tend to see is that the imposition of that regulation is certainly beneficial for adoption levels going forward." So I want to stop right here, pause for a minute, and say, on one hand, regulation seems like it would be a bad thing for crypto because it's a decentralized arena, right? But on the other hand, we know that institutional power and institutional money provides us the backing and the ability for other investors then to adopt crypto, right? Once they see the institutions doing it, maybe they'll be more prone to get in, and that includes retail investors. So there's always two sides to the coin, if you will, and I just wanted to address that. So around 98% of conversations with clients 12 months ago would have been exclusively about Bitcoin, Tyler said, but interest in Ethereum-based tokens. Notice that it's Ethereum-based tokens. We always talk about on this channel why I in particular like ERC20 tokens. Why Ethereum-based tokens is now picking up, right? So the likes of, well, Ethereum itself or Polygon or Shiba Inu or what have you, right? Ethereum is growing an ecosystem that institutions now are recognizing as legit. We always talk about it on the channel. I think there's room for, Ethereum and Bitcoin in the crypto space. Obviously more assets too, but I think they're fundamentally different. But I think they're both going to be powerhouses in the future. Really good article here by Financial News, and just wanted to kind of address that. And along with this article, I wanted to pull up this one. Bloomberg's analyst Senator Warren's deadline is bullish for long-awaited Bitcoin ETF. This is something we haven't talked a ton about on the channel. I know I've talked about it on in a few live sessions though. A Bitcoin ETF would be enormous for the crypto market. I mean, really big. So Senator Warren's deadline could be bullish for the ETF, and I'll tell you why, and it's really in this article. Shout out to the people over at the Byron Review for creating this article. I thought it was a really good one. This first quote that I have highlighted here, the SEC will likely not be able to approve a Bitcoin ETF until the U.S. government officials are happy with the crypto regulation. And Warren's push could speed up the process. And these are a couple quotes here. And here's another important piece here. The SEC's persistent delay in approving a Bitcoin ETF may be less about protecting retail investors and more about putting in place a broader regulatory framework or crackdown in light of some officials' on cryptos as a detriment to investors, the environment, the dollar, and national security, the Bloomberg note said. We believe investors would be better served by ETFs than alternatives. ETFs are much less risky. So essentially this article is making the case for if and when the deadline comes to fruition and we do see some form of regulation come the 28th of July, while it could be bad in one area, like people will be like, oh no, we don't want regulation, but on the other hand, it's like, hey, this could be really good because now Bitcoin ETFs can exist and it again allows more people to adopt crypto through the form of an ETF. So this is really interesting. I thought there's just a lot of things going on in the crypto space, and I wanted to cover it from these two angles. One other angle that I wanted to hit on is just the price of Bitcoin, where it's at, where we could be seeing it go tomorrow. And right now we've been consolidating most of the morning at just below 30,000, but we do have this big event coming up tomorrow. And go over to the bword.org to learn more on this. But basically what's going on here, Jack Dorsey has kind of spearheaded this, the CEO of Square and Twitter. And he's going to have Elon, Cathie Wood, and a bunch of other big name people related to the crypto space and the Bitcoin space in particular. They are going to try to persuade institutions tomorrow why they should get into crypto, why it is a place that they need to look at when it comes to investing, and when it also comes to holding an asset other than, cash. And I think this is going to be an interesting event, one way or another. What comes out of it, I'm not sure, but I am super, super interested to find out, okay? And I think this could be another driving force for the price to go back up. Let's just play hypotheticals here, right? The event takes place tomorrow, and a week passes. Within that week's time, we have news that like 2 or 3 pretty decent-sized corporations are now going to add Bitcoin. And then the next week passes, and then the Apple rumor comes true. They're going to add $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. It could be kind of a domino effect that leads to the next bull cycle. Will that happen? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. However, I'm just trying to encapsulate why the market is down right now, what could bring it back, okay, and give you the good, the bad, everything that I'm hearing and seeing, and provide analysis around it. So I want to get your thoughts on this too. One good thing is, and I added this in my SHIB update, but for those of you who didn't see this, one good sign for the Bitcoin price right now, the short number is actually way down. 5,178 short positions really isn't all that much considering the price right now is below 30,000. I think that's fascinating. Maybe that says that the shorts have already got out and they've already shorted, right? They've already bet that Bitcoin will go down and they're no longer shorting it past this 29, 28,000 plateau. And they're ready for a big event tomorrow where they think it could go back up. And maybe we see Bitcoin slowly gain some ground here leading up to that event. I would not be shocked. I want to get your thoughts, though, down below. Would love to hear from you. And real quick before we get out of here, the supporter and insider level over at our Patreon is available with that link down below. We're adding people every single day. Listen, I do not know everything. I clearly do not know everything, but people over in our Patreon, in our Discord, man, they are super talented. I'm learning from each and every one of them every day. And that's really like the community that we are creating here on the Constant Growth channel. We don't want a bunch of know-it-alls. We want a bunch of people who are willing to learn, willing to listen, and contribute to the conversation. So that's what we're creating. If you want to become part of that, of course, subscribe to the channel, but also consider checking out our Patreon group. And then, of course, you got that join button down below. You can also check that out. I've put together a little video there for you. Check that out. And yeah, take care. Love to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Why crypto's falling? What do you think's coming? What's going to turn it green? And all that good stuff. So don't panic. Stay in there. And I'll see you in the